What a wonderful day it is. Even though I forgot my microphone for the camera, so the sound might be different than some of my other videos, and I forgot to dress up. I just put on a crummy old shirt and grabbed my filming stuff, came to the church, and then I'm like, oh man, I forgot the microphone. And I forgot to dress up. Oh well, you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. But it's okay because this Bible's dressed up with a beautiful Yapp. Oh my goodness. I have the full Yapp Schuyler with me today, and we're going to look at it together. But first, the book is doing so much better still, than I ever imagined. The book, Hearing Love, is available on Amazon. Paperback and ebook, you can get that ordered and they'll ship it to you. And thank you guys so much for everyone who's got the book, for everyone who's written a review or given me personal feedback on Facebook or Instagram or texted me or something. Thank you so much. It's doing exactly what my heart was for it, which is a commentary on the first commandment to get us practically provoked into walking it for reals in our lives. And so anyway, that's available on Amazon. The title is called Hearing Love by Dave Lee Brown. You can Google it, or I'll put the link down in the description. Also, if you enjoy the music that plays underneath any of my videos, it's all available for download at forloveoftheword.bandcamp.com, and that link will be in the description. And you'll find, if you didn't know already, just in the last couple months I released a new album called Howls and Wails, and the track titles are all from the book Reese Howell's Intercessor. And so that's why some of the track titles are like, wait, what? Nazarites versus Nazis. But anyway, you can go download that, and it's all instrumental music that's written and recorded for the whole purpose of not being a distraction, but being a help to you as you study, read, and pray, and meditate. And if you enjoy the work and the ministry of my channel, you can visit me over on Patreon, where I have a little bit more additional content over there as well, including free music downloads and other videos, and then following the progression of the audio Bible. I'm still working on that, but that's not one of my main deals. My big project right now is I want to finish Romans. I've released a lot of music this last year, and so I want to get back to being able to record the audio Bible. So all those links will be in the description, but oh my gosh, a Yapp on a Schuyler Quentel. Oh, I don't even know what to say about it. I've had this for 3 days now. And when I opened it up, I thought about doing an unboxing, but I'm just yeah, I'm going to be kind of overwhelmed, and I don't know what to say. And I'm naturally introverted, so all my emotions are just inside there's fireworks and rainbows, and then my face, I'm just looking at it super content while the fireworks are going off. But anyway, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. And I've been through, I've been with Schuyler from the beginning. I didn't get their first ESV because I've never been a big ESV guy, but their second Bible they came out with was a New King James single column, no Yapp, no raised hubs. And then they came out with the New American Standard, what's now known as the Brick. And I picked one of those up when they came out with the New American Standard. And no raised hubs, super thick, nice paper, a little bit smaller footprint. And then used a little bit lighter paper, and the Quentel shrunk a little bit. Then after that, they started putting raised hubs, which is where I got back into it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, a raised hubs on a Schuyler Bible. This is amazing. And so I ended up with that one. And then the Quentel in different formats start shrinking, whether it was the Credo or the Schuyler Thin Line for New American Standard, which, man, it was just, if you're a New American Standard person, Schuyler has been so good to us. So thank you, Evangelical Bible. Thank you so much for taking care of the New American Standard family. I know you're doing very well and all the others, but I feel like the New American Standard had the most love as far as fine-tuning what we have before us today. So I have the Thin Line. I have the big first one that they came out with, and so it's been so cool to see. And I'd always had in the back of my mind, I wonder if Schuyler would ever put a Yapp. But my wife, being in the art and creative community with, painting and artistry and design stuff and photography, there's this, code and respect that you have for other artists. And these Bibles are works of art. And so I imagine that code and that respect of, hey, I'm not going to do your thing. You do your thing well, and we're going to do our thing well. Schuyler, through the years, has just found this amazing way to make their Bibles just absolutely epic. But then it's their Bible. You don't look at it and be like, oh, they copied Allen, or they copied Cambridge, or they copied so-and-so. Like maybe at the beginning it was a little bit more Cambridgey, but it didn't take them long for them to just come into their own, and it was such a cool thing to watch and still watch, even with this Yapp. And so I feel like out of respect for Alan does the Yapps, we're not going to do your thing. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what's going on, just knowing the art and creative and design community well from my wife. And so I feel like maybe that was going on. But then, you had some people like Steadfast putting the raised hubs and the Yapp on their Bible. And I think we all wondered, like, what would it look like if Schuyler and Alan made a baby? And meaning raised hubs on a full Yapp with, nice paper, nice binding, and all that stuff. And so once other people started doing Yapps, I think Schuyler was just like, all right, we're doing Yapps now. And then they've started putting them on a few of their editions. This is the first time they've had it on the New American Standard, and I'm so excited. So for those of you that don't know what a Yapp is, it's a design that's been around for a while. So it's not like a new design, but it's becoming new to our generation. And so some people don't know what to think about it. They're like, I don't know about that oversized cover. Practically, it helps protect the pages. So when you put it in your suitcase in your backpack, you have this big cover that folds over the pages and it protects them. But man, oh my gosh, Yapps, when I first started looking at Bibles right after I got saved, and like I ended up with the Cambridge wide margin, and then I was, addicted to Bible Design Blog, and his photography and descriptions of the Bibles were just amazing. Like I loved reading his blog posts. I loved just drooling over the pictures that he had on Bible Design Blog. And I started seeing these Bibles with Yapps and stuff, and you're like, what in the world? Dear God, they're beautiful. And so Alan was really the only ones available with Yapps. So I started getting into Alan's, and really the look of it just provides an eloquence to me where it's like, ooh, that's a nice Bible. But then too, like when you're sitting down reading it, it feels good in the hand. When you just have like that oversized cover, you don't feel like you're grabbing the pages, because without a Yapp, sometimes I feel like my hand will like grab the pages and like wear them out a little bit quicker. So I just like having that Yapp curl around the pages when I'm holding it, and it looks so good when a Bible's framed in a Yapp with art gilt around it. It's just a beautiful thing. So anyway, if you're wondering, which probably you're not, you most likely already know this is a Quentel. If not, this is a Quentel Bible. It's their double column format with cross references at the bottoms of the pages and footnotes on the outside corner. These come with the presentation pages. You get a concordance and maps, a couple blank cardstock pages for stability at the end there, and you can take notes. But no notebook paper, which is okay with me that Schuyler removed the notebook paper, because Alan does the notebook paper very well, especially when Alan puts the double column line notebook paper, and it's a thicker paper than the regular Bible paper. And so the paper that Schuyler was putting in, I wasn't using that much. I used it on a couple editions, but I don't have an issue with them taking the notebook paper out of the Quentel. The Quentel for me is more of a reader anyway, and so I'm not taking like big notes in it. And if I want to take notes, just put it in a notebook. Novel idea. Anyway, like the notebook paper thing, it's like either do it right or don't do it at all. And I feel like they were trying to wade into that with the notebook paper and decided, let's just not do it at all, because I think they're trying to maintain a certain thickness, and they already have like super nice Bible pages in here. And again, it's more of a reader for me, so I'm not knocking them for taking the notebook paper out. They do have double column lined nice notebook paper in the back of their wide margin, and that's nice notebook paper. But as far as just the regular Quentels, I don't miss it. If they were to add notebook paper again, I would hope it would be something similar to what Alan's got, but keeping the double margins that they have in the wide margin. That would be nice. What I want to look at is probably some of its main like competitors, and I'll say like friendly competitors, I would hope still. But anyway, there's the Steadfast Handy-Sized Preacher's Bible. And then there's the Allen readers. This is one of their new ones with the thicker paper, though I did change the ribbons on these to match an older Allen design from about 10, 15 years ago. So anyway, the reason I brought those out is when you're looking at like a premium Bible with nice paper, all these are bound at Youngblood, so the binding on either of these is not in question. It's really going to be like their design choices that they had Youngblood do to their Bible, and then the format that they wanted for their typeface. So we saw the Quentel was the double column paragraph format. The handy size Preacher's Bible, I use this a lot in the pulpit. You can tell that was the last sermon I preached, all the little tabbies in there. I just hadn't taken them out yet. But the handy size Preacher's Bible is a single column with wide margins to take notes on the side, and it's verse by verse. So different inside format. Even though the covers, everyone has their own distinct feel. The goatskin on these handy-sized Preacher's Bibles is so nice. I forgot to mention the Schuyler is the calfskin and marbled mahogany. They have a couple other colors, but not many. For the full Yapp. If you don't go with the Yapp, they have more colors. But the Yapp is a new thing for Schuyler, and I assume like it's expanding. I totally respect them for waiting so long to do the Yapp, because you don't want to take Allen's thing from them. But Rebinders, and I think there was another publisher, I can't remember, and then Steadfast. Once they started doing Yapp, as long as Schuyler's not the one hey, I'm taking Allen's idea and bringing this old-time design into modern day, then I think they're good. So anyway, the format on the Allen readers, the goatskin is a little bit rougher. I mean, it's still super supple. I mean, all these are super supple. And the liner's really soft. Allen does not do their own typeface. Schuyler and Steadfast, they did their own typeface with 2K Denmark. Allen does not do that right now. So their New American Standard readers is just the same typeface that's in the regular Lockman editions for their 95 New American Standard, double column, center reference, which I really like the format. So it's a good format. They just took Lockman's typeface, put it on nice paper, had Youngblood bind it, and put a really nice cover on it. And again, all these are Youngblood, so the binding, everything feels great. It's just the building materials that each publisher picks out is going to be the difference. But the reason I have all these up here is because they're the premium Bibles. They all have Yapps, but I wanted to point out the difference in some of the Yapps that you might not have caught on to, because they are a little bit different Yapps. So on the Schuyler, you'll see this is a full Yapp because the cover, when you close it up, it touches. The handy size Preacher's Bible, it does not touch, but you still see the overhanging cover. So that'd be like your generous Yapp, where you have an overhanging cover, but I think the reason they did that is it's a little bit thicker text block, a little bit smaller footprint. So sometimes you walk this balance of you don't want the cover to overhang so far, because then it's just going to look dumb and you take all the eloquence out of it. I think Steadfast did a good job by choosing to go with the generous Yapp instead of the full Yapp on the handy size Preacher's Bible. This Allen reader is close. It doesn't touch, but it almost touches. So I don't know if they were going for a full Yapp or for a generous Yapp, but it does not touch, and it's about the same exact size footprint as the Quentel now, same thickness in the spine. The handy size Preacher's Bible is a little bit smaller footprint, and just that one little difference of it being smaller makes it a little bit more pleasant for me, and you don't sacrifice in the font in the Preacher's Bible. The last thing I'll show you on these Yapps is if you look at them, they'll all have pleated corners, which the pleated corners is new for Schuyler, and so that's really nice that they have that, especially for doing the Yapp. They've been doing corners a little bit different way because they haven't had the full Yapp, and I'm not sure what the reasoning behind that decision was, but anyway, it's good to see pleated corners on the Schuyler, so they'll all have the pleated corners, the gilt line on the inside, but the biggest difference is on the outside of these covers. I'm going to start with the handy size Preacher's Bible. On that, as far as the exterior of the cover, you have, the raised hubs and everything, but around the edges you have a perimeter stitching on the Yapp, which is a nice touch. I've always liked the perimeter stitching. I've also always liked the tooled lines. And so when you look at the Allen Yapp, you have tooled lines, and not just one line, but you have the double tooled line. So you have the one around the perimeter, and then you have the one around the text block, and they both go all the way around the cover, everywhere, both of them, double tooled lines. And so that's a nice look. But when I've been getting a couple Bibles back from Adrian, what I really, really like is that tooled line around the text block, and then you have your perimeter stitching. It's just like this beautiful combo of both of them. And Schuyler did it. And so you'll look on the outside here, they have their typical Schuyler cross that you're used to seeing, but then around the outside you'll see the perimeter stitching, and then just on the inside of that you'll see that tooled line around the text block. And I think, especially on a Yapp, that's just like, it looks so good. And so anyway, super excited to see that on a Bible that's not a rebind. Like, wow, they did that all on their own. Congratulations, Schuyler. And anyway, one of the things I noticed last night, though, is this double-tooled line, and a cool design choice, does not connect. So it's on the front, flip it over, you see that tooled line around the text block on the back, but then you look at the spine, and it's not there anymore, which gives the spine like just this nice, undistracted look, because I think the tooled line going across would be a little bit busy. Like, it probably wouldn't have bothered me. I probably wouldn't have noticed, because everyone puts their tooled lines all around the cover. It's easy to do, right? And so just that small little detail that I noticed, I'm like, oh my goodness, this makes me appreciate the spine and how clean it is when it is placed on the bookshelf. Like, man, that looks good. You guys, like, all the small details just amazed me. And so that is the full Yapp Schuyler Quentel. If you want a little bit more in-depth of a Quentel review, then I did one last year on this exact Bible, but with no Yapp. This is my son's Bible now, but same exact color, the marbled mahogany calfskin, which his is a little bit darker, but it's still the same exact Bible. I'll link that in the description if you want to look at the Quentel format a little bit more and some more of the design stuff. This video is really more about like, hey y'all, Schuyler put a Yapp on their Bibles. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys later. Bye.